Okay, so toys. I didn't have a whole lot of toys. I had, I had my GI Joes that I liked. Um, the little action figures. They're about yay big, and you can move their arms around. They had like the kung fu grip and all that kind of stuff. They weren't the large GI Joes. I know that some people had those. I had Star Wars figures. I had I don't know, a variety of different toys, including Legos. Mainly, what I would do is when I was a kid, is I would take my action figures when I was playing with them, and I would make castles. Now this and forts and things like that. Now this stemmed from I had a book when I was a kid that taught how to make castles out of. You take 4 toilet paper rolls and you put slits in them, and you get little pieces of cardboard for the walls, and you slide those into the slits, and then you can paint it. You can make a drawbridge for it, and with string and everything, like a real working drawbridge, and like all this stuff. So that was my first little fort. I used to play those with like little green army men and stuff, and cowboys and Indians, and then I got more elaborate. I would build larger forts out of cardboard. I would build things out of styrofoam. Uh, basically any kind of packing electronic stuff that we'd get for Christmas or whatever. All of that stuff would get put into use for one of my forts. Um, Also, bean bags and things like that. So basically, I would just have my action figures running around, and I would have these very elaborate battles and scenarios, of course, and I don't know, all this stuff. Um, but that was basically my version of the toy box. Legos was a huge thing of mine. Um, when I was really really little, we had Weeble Wobbles, which I don't know if you remember. They were little characters in the shape of eggs, and you can push on them, and they kind of wobble back and forth, but they don't ever fall down. In fact, that was the song. They weeble and they wobble, but they don't fall down. Um, I wish I could find a commercial on that on YouTube. I probably can somewhere. But so yeah, I had Weeble Wobbles for a long time when I was little. And then it moved up to Legos, and of course, the action figures and things. You know, we also had at one time, because I was at the premieres of most of the Star Wars movies. Some of the larger Star Wars action figures, um, and also Star Trek. Um, I also, when I was younger, I had Steve Austin, the $6 million man, with his removable skin, so you can see all his bionics in his arm and stuff like that. Um, I don't know if any of these things ring a bell to anyone, but if they do, cool toys. And I believe most of them, you can find on eBay and stuff. Um, I don't think I still have any of the toys that I have now. I have new stuff, new action figures and collectibles. Um, like my little Noid here, the Noid from Pizza Hut. He's one of mine, and I have other stuff too in here that I've shown in other videos, but I'm just gonna run around and grab them right now. Um, but yeah, those were some of my favorites. In fact, I'm gonna go see if I can find the Weeble Wobble thing. Um, that'd be kind of fun. Anyway, uh, yeah, I guess that's all. I guess us as kids, we just had these great imaginations, building forts and stuff, and we played outside a lot too, and did a lot of that. I was kind of a weird kid. I didn't like to get my toys dirty, um, because it was kind of my emotional escape. Um, now I'm not gonna make this depressing, But it was my way of escaping from trauma. So, I tried to stay indoors with my toys a lot more often. Uh, because, being outside in the elements would mess up the toys and make their arms not move properly. And yeah, it just wasn't as fun. um, uh, so let's see, what else did I think that's about it. Just a lot of GI Joe stuff, Star Wars, Star Trek. Um, Used to mix and match them a lot. He-Man, I had a few of those. Wasn't so into those because I just didn't really like the big muscle-bound characters. My cousins had those. They had like Castle Grayskull that they played with and crap like that. I was more into the GI Joe stuff, um, and Cobra. Uh, had some Voltron stuff, some Robotech. Robotech and Voltron are more Japanese uh, toys. They're really, I don't know. I liked them when I was a kid. They were popular. Um, and I think they're even more popular now. And although it's harder to find the Robotech stuff, and some of the older Japanese toys that they used to have. Um, which were really cool. Especially Japanese ones are neat because they come with these big, huge action figures, and their arms would shoot off at a press of a button, and yeah, that was cool. Um, what else there? Oh, when I was really little. Okay, and some of you might actually, if you go into a lot of antique shops, you'll find these, usually hanging up and stuff. But there's these little cars, okay. But inside these little metal cars, and they were little fire engines. You had all kinds of things. Anyway, when you were little, you could sit in them, right? And they had these little pedals, and you could pedal them, and they're metal, and you can actually turn. It's a real physical steering wheel, and you have little bells and stuff sometimes. Anyway, I had one of those when I was little. Um, I used to drive around and make noise. I mean, nowadays they've got plastic stuff that have electric batteries, and you know, you get to you press the gas pedal and it's like and these kids take off, and these little battery powered whatevers. I've played around with them at Toys R Us a couple times, but yeah, not as cool. Anyway, talk about it. All right, bye.